Hi, this is Barry Schwartz, and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, November 24th, and this is a special Thanksgiving version of the Search Buzz video recap. Actually, I was thinking about doing the whole entire SEO video recap using an emoji, but then I thought maybe it'd be better off if I did not do that, as to spare you guys from having a talking turkey, emoji talking turkey talk to you the whole entire time. Which might be better in some cases, because maybe you rather hear, maybe you rather look at the emoji version of the turkey of me talking versus actually this face talking to you. But in any event, you're stuck with this face for now. So first up, there seemed to be some type of major Google feature snippet change. Search Engine Land has a contributor that was talking about it, as well as Pete Myers from Moz, basically saying there's a lot of SERP changes going on, specifically around the feature snippets in Google, and around the end of October, they gained the knowledge panels and so forth, but it seems like the feature snippets have been somewhat going away for some of these brands, and they've been showing knowledge panels instead. Pete said he's going to take a deeper look at this. You can see, according to Mozcast, late October, there was a significant dip there. Even Rank Ranger saw there was a big, this is what it was, and then all of a sudden there was this dip, and then they're seeing to see it come back again, but not Mozcast, which is interesting. And of course, Brian Patterson did a column post at Search Engine Land talking about this as well. So it's unclear exactly what's going on. I'm going to take a deeper look at it over the next, hopefully, week or so, and we'll let you know what we're seeing around this. Google said when moving to HTTPS, you want to make sure to move your parameter handlings as well. That's in Google Search Console. So some people actually get hit pretty bad. And this is actually Google's documentation with the HTTPS move, that when you are moving, don't forget about any parameter handling you set up in the Google Search Console. Again, most people don't use parameter handling, which I think John Mueller said a little bit later. Even large sites typically don't use this parameter handling feature in Google Search Console. But if you are, it is an advanced feature, and make sure to go ahead and move that over when you move to the new HTTPS in Google Search Console. Google's John Mueller also said that URL structure does not necessarily have to follow the content folder structure. So if you have, for example, an example I gave here is, let's say you have like a recipe site about vegetables, and for example, people click from tomatoes and then they go into tomato soup recipes. The URL structure doesn't have to be domain.com/tomatoes/tomatosouprecipe.html or whatever it might be. You don't need to do that. It doesn't need to follow that. URL structures are not that important. Of course, you want to have short, clean, descriptive URLs, but it doesn't necessarily have to follow your actual content structure exactly. Google said that it doesn't hurt your site if your site ranks with its IP address as opposed to ranking with its domain name. Of course, I would be freaking out if that happened. I would think that's a very, very poor technical implementation of something that happened that Google picked up on, and that Google's getting confused signals. But he said an IP address can rank just as well as a domain name. Of course, that's true. I would personally worry. I would think there's an issue technically with your own configuration. But technically, I guess an IP address could just rank as well as anything else, any other domain. Google said most websites rank without any link building. Here's John Mueller's tweet about that. So somebody asked him, can a website rank on top search results without building a single backlink? And John Mueller said from Google, sure, most do. And what John's basically saying is that most websites that are really quality, Amazon and whatever, Wikipedia and stuff like that, Wikipedia doesn't go out and do any link building. They don't do that. They just get links to their website because they have good content that people want to link to. If you consider good content as a link building strategy, of course that is link building, but John Mueller is basically saying core link building, people actually trading links, doing things specifically that are not meant to build, and that might be true. I never actively went out and built any links for Search Engine Roundtable. Search Engine Land hasn't done that as well. Wikipedia, I doubt, has done any link building, and those sites typically rank fairly well for what they need to rank for. Google also said that anchor text for internal links, of course, do matter. John Mueller didn't specifically say that, but somebody asked him. Let me share that tweet. Again, this is like mind-boggling. People even ask the question, but people are asking the question, does Google link? Look, at anchor text in internal links. So internal links, your own domain name, links you control. Is Google looking at the anchor text, the hyperlink, the blue text that you have in that link? For example, here's a link, Twitter, whatever. That's internal links. Links. This is an internal link to my own site. So internal link from this page to this page is anchor text specifically to that article. Does Google look at that? And John Mueller said most links do provide a bit of additional context through their anchor text. At least they should, right? And that's basically him saying, yeah, of course Google looks at those types of links. So it's kind of like a no-brainer. Google launched this trust project, or they're partnering on this trust project where they're actually trying to figure out how to solve the fake news problem, or at least communicate to searchers, how trustworthy a specific news site is. And the Trust Project, which is Google-backed, specifically went ahead and listed 8 trust indicators that newsrooms can add to their content. One is, best practices. 2 is author expertise, type of work, citations and references, methods, locally sourced, diverse voices, and actionable feedback. And supposedly there's going to be there are currently structured data around this, around this type of stuff, around specifically different types of schema. And we'll see, like claim reviews and different types of schema you could use to kind of mark up your content. We'll see how this is used by Google to actually mark this up. And of course, Google is actively and effectively trying to go ahead and deal with these fake news problems. Google has updated the text they use for search results to where they can't actually crawl the page itself. Either you block it with your robots.txt file, or you're doing something else which just makes it blocked. It used to be very technical. It used to say this in the description for this result is not available because of the site's robots.txt. Click here to learn more. But now it's saying no information is available for this page. Learn why. And that takes you to a page that describes it. It's a more user-friendly type of description. It's not as technical, but it's more user-friendly for the searcher. Google has redesigned their Google Flight search feature. It looks pretty cool. The new flight, they landed. They try the new updated tools. It supposedly helps you find flights at a cheaper rate for cheaper flights and so forth, and cheaper trips. So take a look at that if you haven't. They did it right before the Thanksgiving weekend. Google AdWords launched version 12.2 of the AdWords editor, or also this week, again, right before Thanksgiving, specifically allowing you to do things like Gmail asset-based ads, full support for promotion and video extensions, and a new budget type of option for video ads. And you can see all the different features that 12.2 brought AdWords editor right in here. Google Local Pack is testing. Google Local Pack is testing showing the Knowledge Panel tabs. So we covered this morning. I can't replicate this, but basically if you do a search for like certain types of companies, the locations come in the local pack, and then there's like a post that shows the post from the company, and the About Us shows like knowledge graph information about that business. I can't replicate this, but some people are able to replicate this. And finally, this is kind of like a funny thing. So what we had here is earlier this week, Matt Cutts went ahead and posted on Google Plus because he didn't want the whole world to know. He just wanted those on Google Plus world to know that when you went to the Google homepage, automatically the recent searches would pop up. And he called that super annoying. Then what happened was I picked it up. I asked Google for a comment. Google spokesperson got back to me saying this is a bug. Then what happened, again, this is all typical stuff. That's not unusual. Maybe Matt Cutts complaining about Google is unusual. Then Danny Sullivan, who now works at Google, said he was the person who actually wrote that statement at Google. So what you have here is, and I'll summarize it like, this is Paul Haar, one of the 15, 16-year-old veteran at Google, one of the top search leads at Google. So he basically said, if you had told me 5 years ago that Matt Cutts would post to complain about a Google bug and Danny Sullivan would reply for the company about it being fixed, I thought you'd come from bizarro world. But it works, and basically that's exactly what happened. Matt Cutts got into it. I wrote about it, and I wrote basically a blog post specifically saying that my SEO world has really turned upside down. You have Matt Cutts complaining. You have Danny Sullivan, basically responding from Google. It's just an interesting world, and it's just funny to see that type of thing happen. In any event, thanks so much for listening to this Search Buzz video recap. Again, my name is Barry Schwartz. I'm not that turkey ad emoji. I am Barry Schwartz, and this is a Search Buzz video recap for the past week. Today, again, Friday, November 24th. And this is the search news we covered over the Search and Roundtable, SEOroundtable.com over the past week. Everyone, have a great weekend. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys next. Bye.